us how you're feeling right now. See, phase 2, we're getting there. All these improvements. What's it like from your perspective?
Grateful, but also excited for the fans. It's just a great transformation. I know Rich and Brad took you through all the details. A lot happening, stacked on top of some exciting elements last year and more to come next year. So grateful and excited.
How much did the governor and the Maryland Stadium Authority play into this? Did you talk to them, kind of say, look, I mean, we want to be the premier stadium of the Mid-Atlantic here, and they certainly were helpful in terms of funding this, right?
Yeah, just one correction. We are the premier stadium of the Mid-Atlantic already. We wanted to make sure we invest to ensure that moving forward. But we're really excited about the game day that we put on today. And we're more excited about the game day that we'll be able to put on, in years future as we finish these renovations. It's really additive to what's already, one of the NFL's top-rated game days. We're not bragging, we're humble. We try to put our head down and make sure that we continue to invest in that, in the experience that our fans have when they come here to M&T Bank Stadium.
Guys, Sashi, obviously with your role, there's a big community connection part to that as well.
Yeah.
And so obviously we have the fans that come, the casual fans, we know we have diehard fans. What do you make just from your positioning and trying to connect with the community and make sure the Ravens stay present in that with these renovations and the way you're enhancing this game day experience that extends beyond the stadium?
I think the nice thing about these renovations is the ability to activate the stadium in more dynamic ways, 365 days a year. We think this makes the stadium more attractive for third-party events, soccer matches, concerts, and we're working hard at that now that we'll be out of COVID renovation. It's been a long stretch for us to get back into that business, but we also have the team store and some opportunities in some of our smaller spaces to bring some of the community activities here. And with that activity comes jobs and all the things that we like to give back to make sure that we're simpatico with the community around us. So we're really excited about all those opportunities.
Sashi, what about the premier NFL events? I mean, is it this organization's intention to try and host a Super Bowl, try and host the NFL draft, and how will some of these renovations maybe point to some of those goals?
Yeah, so the Super Bowl circuit has, on occasion when there's been new builds, even in cold weather cities, visited. We don't necessarily have that on our horizon. Having said that, you guys have heard me mention that we are in talks and have introduced to the NFL our interest in hosting a future NFL draft, and we're syncing that up with some of the other developments around the city. Time-wise, we think this renovation positions us really well to have the stadium be a complementary piece of that. As you know, NFL drafts, really take over the better part of the city, not just the stadium, but we think this really positions us great.
What about some of those third-party events you mentioned, concerts, soccer games? How have maybe the requirements for hosting changed over the life of this stadium to where some of these amenities might meet some of those needs now?
Yeah, without getting into too much of the nuance of that, we certainly have been in touch with FIFA and other English Premier League teams and international soccer clubs to make sure that our stadium, fits, and we're staying on top of what allows us with some of those soccer match promoters, but also concert promoters, what they're looking for. We're in constant communication with them.
Sashi, you've been in these roles as team president for a couple of years now. Are you starting to see kind of the fruition of some of the things that you wanted to do when you took this position? Are you starting to see them start to pop up now?
Yeah, it's been a team effort. Brad and Rich and others have been a big part of our design and our vision. Worked with the Stadium Authority and their two chairs, Tom Kelso and certainly Craig Thompson currently as well, to make sure that what we're working toward fits for the state, but also for the team. And as we spoke last year about how did we come to the design and the master plan, and a lot of it was visiting other stadiums, NFL, NBA arena, looking internationally at some of the trends as well. We are really excited again about where M&T Bank Stadium sits today, and with these additional elements that are provided by the renovation joint venture between us and the state, we think it positions us to be one of the best, if not the best stadium in the NFL for a long time.
Sashi, Brad, and Rich were just talking about the positive feedback that they received from fans with the first phase of renovations.
Yeah.
Just with that, how have you seen the game day experience change?
It's hard for me to be everywhere, but I know there's a lot more places I'd like to be on game day for sure. And we're really, deep into our programming discussions. So for us, all the creative juices are flowing about how we can bring a stadium and fan experience, as I heard Brad mention, in pre-game, during game, and post-game, to life in some really dynamic, fun, exciting, unique ways that pay homage to Baltimore and Maryland and this Mid-Atlantic region as well. So I think some really exciting things on the horizon.
New Orioles ownership has been in place for a year. How has it been working with them? Obviously, they have the access to the same kind of funds that you guys do.
Yeah, we haven't spent a ton of time in terms of how they plan to use the funds, but they've been great. Katie Griggs and certainly Mr. Rubenstein have been awesome. So we're off to a good start with them.
Kind of talking about some of those premier events, would maybe the vision if the MLB All-Star Game is hosted here sometime in the future, do you anticipate M&T Bank would be a part of some of that hosting and perhaps kind of lend some of your foot space to that?
Probably too premature for me to comment on that. We'd certainly be open to helping to bring to life, any event that's here on the complex and working well with the O's, as I said. So I'd leave it at that.
Sashi, I know last year a lot of the renovations you guys did for this past season was kind of premium spaces. How would you boil down what you guys are doing for this kind of season?
Yeah, I think I saw you write that. I'm not sure that that's actually correct. I think last year we had this conversation, but like the gatehouse is open, the field seats that we have really open to everybody. Likewise, a lot of what you'll see, the technology on the concourses, the plaza that we're going to bring to life this year and next year are all elements that are going to be available for all the fans. And you'll start to see some of our work upstairs on the concourses as well come to life. And so from concessions and to just the everyday fan experience, certainly what's happened over the last 20 years in sport venues, professional sports venues, college sports venues now, has been to bring more offerings in what's called premium or club spaces, more different types of suites, varied programs and products. But a lot of kind of our investment here is going to really touch every fan that comes into the building, like the gatehouse and some of the other elements that you saw today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sashi. Do you see that it's going to be, really rewards for Maryland Stadium Authority and the Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the entire process, certainly game day leads the thought first and foremost, but right behind that is making this building a 365 destination even more than it is now. So creating spaces that make it easier to do that, to attract different types of events, all different sizes. That is absolutely a priority throughout the project.
What about the possibility of hosting Super Bowl or being an alternate, say, the MLB All-Star Game comes here?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no limit to what we want to think about with M&T Bank Stadium. We know it's a world-class venue, so to be able to host large events in conjunction with other events, like you mentioned, if All-Star Game or other major soccer events, concerts, things like that, we're certainly want to aggressively pursue events like that for sure.
Do you guys have players in mind too, like in free agency and stuff like that in the draft? Like, hey, we want to make this a destination where these guys are on their social media coming in, things like that.
Obviously, a priority to keep the home field advantage here at M&T Bank Stadium, one of the best in the league. As we've talked about through the process, our in-bowl experience, we've invested in over the years with the boards, the audio system, things like that. So a lot of these round of renovations are focused on amenities for the fans, attracting those events, but we never lose sight of the experience in bowl and the home field advantage here that we'll put up against any in the league.
Yeah, we put also an emphasis on the back of the house experience, so the player experience coming into the stadium and their locker rooms. Yeah, that's something that's definitely on the table to renovate the locker room so we get that A on the player survey. So yeah, that comes into mind, right?
So what do you make of the way last season ended? Obviously, a lot of fans waiting through this offseason. OTAs are now going. We have most of the players there. and you see the fan excitement online because you guys pay a lot of attention to that. What do you make of just the excitement when you add these new renovations on top of it, getting fans excited for a new season after the way it ended so disappointingly last year?
Seeing the excitement in the fan base is great. It's energizing. We go through that process every year of building excitement to the start of the season. When we have things like this that are added things to talk to our fans about and let our fans get a sneak peek of and start to build that excitement, it always helps too. But we're all excited in the building. Everybody's excited. So to see that in the fan base, we're really eager to get it going.
Gotcha. And just to follow up, obviously when a lot of teams come to Baltimore, you hear players talk about our organization and just the facility, the staff, it's always top notch. What do you make of just the Baltimore and Ravens centric kind of stuff you've shown us today, where it all has a tie to something, which obviously goes into the way you put our social media, the Wired stuff, the Edgar Allan Poe and the things of the like?
Yeah, we're proud of our brand. We're proud to be of Baltimore. We're proud to be part of Maryland. So you'll see that throughout all of our brand campaigns, hopefully, as you navigate new spaces at the stadium, as you navigate our existing spaces at the stadium. So our fans embrace that. They love that Poe edge. They love that Raven vibe. So we lean into that. We like getting feedback from our fans. And we like seeing them respond to those things, and that's really driven us from the time the fans named the team the Ravens. So that's long been a priority for us.
Thank you.
They want places to socialize before the game or at halftime or after the game, and that's really the part that we're focused on with a lot of what we saw today, is giving them great experiences from the minute they hit the parking lot and the minute their game day starts. So we've got an opportunity to come entertain you, and then as we talked about earlier, beyond game day, whether it's away game watch parties or things like that, really giving our fans ways to experience the building in different ways, unique ways on game day and beyond.
Do you have any feedback on the first phase of renovations and just how fans may have enjoyed that or what the reception of that has been?
Yeah, you want to talk about the?
No, it's been great. They've loved it. So even starting the construction process from 2 seasons ago, when we actually started to do the foundation work for the Black Wing, they actually were excited by that. So we thought it's possible that we're inconveniencing them. We actually overthought it for the fans. When they were more like, "This is great. We're taking pictures with the construction stuff." So we've had some great feedback. Obviously, when building it, you want to make sure that you can serve it. We have a great staff here that is serving those spaces. So we call that. I'm calling that space out specifically. We're calling that top service, top tier, 5-star, and we were able to achieve that. And then with the gatehouse, that has become what we thought it would be. Right, pre-game, it is packed. Right, it is your beer hall when we were trying to make it. And then at halftime, it's kind of been hard to walk through there, but everybody kind of Raven centric. So they've a lot of positive feedback.
And we even the roof deck, we stayed open post game. Those 1 o'clock games, put the 4 o'clock games on, and to see people stay, especially those October games when the weather was beautiful, that view from the roof deck, we've got the TVs going in the gatehouse and the roof deck, the response was really great.
Remind me, is the gatehouse for everyone or was that for certain, I can't remember.
Yes, gatehouse is open to the public, and the roof deck during the game open to the public. We did some pregame hospitality in there, which will likely move to one of those new spaces that we talked about. But once 15 minutes before kickoff, that was open to everybody as well.
And a big positive about the gatehouse is it allowed us to open an hour before gates normally, all season long. But it took those, when we had a 4 o'clock, 4:30 game, we could open an hour and a half, even more to watch the 1 o'clock games. Guests were able to take that through the end of the season.